Hey guys, what's up? I'm here to talk to you about why I'm considering buying the 2004 E46 BMW M3 as my next car. So basically, I do have right now a Porsche 944 S2 and a 2001 BMW 540i M Sport. And those are both great cars, don't get me wrong. It's just the 5 Series is a little bit too heavy for my taste. It's a good daily driver, but it's just not something that I would personally just like lunge after as a performance car. In the Porsche, well, it sat in the shop since I bought it since my dad bought it at about I think end of 2014, and we got that Porsche for a crazy low price when all the prices were low at around $7,000. But now they're worth upwards of 25, especially with the mileage, since it only has around 79 to I think it was 82,000 miles on it. And it has original paint, manual, all the good options, and it's the rare S2 model, which is the 3-liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated, which had less turbo lag than the turbo, even though it had a little bit less power. So then the corners pick up a little bit more. But what I'm really here to talk about is the E46 M3. Now the E46 M3 started in 2001 and ended in 2006. They did a facelift and little tweaks here and there about it throughout each year, but the main facelifts and more of like, I would call it a butt lift, where they switched the taillights to LED and they changed the little stuff at the rear, was between 2004 and 2006. And in 2006 the CSL came out, and the CSL is basically a more lightweight option, I guess. It was a lot more expensive, and it cost about the same amount, like roughly with inflation, as a new M4 GTS, which I think is, that's pretty cool. But I would not be looking at getting one of those. Those are too expensive. But I would just be looking at a regular coupe. I don't want the convertible, because the convertible actually jacked up the structural rigidity and the chassis strength around corners, so it felt a little bit floppier. I'm not saying it felt floppy, by all means it's a sports car, but it just felt floppier, if that makes any sense. So I definitely want the coupe, which is going to be hard to find because it's more of a desirable one, and it has to be manual. I don't want the SMG. The SMG is a great transmission, and it'll get you from 0 to 60 in around 5.5 seconds, but it's just not as exhilarating as I'd like. And if I'm buying an M3 from that era, unless it's a dual clutch, I want a manual for sure, especially a 6-speed. And with that car, they're becoming really, really collectible, especially low mileage manual coupes, and good colors too. Like, for instance, the Laguna Seca Blue, it was a really rare color option from 2005, I believe, to 2006, and those cars are crazy expensive now just because of the color. So I'm looking at more of a Mystic Blue, which is like a dark metallic blue, and I'll probably put a picture in like right now. But yeah, I really like Mystic Blue, and I really love the car. It's like, reviews are all over the place about how great it is. The one thing I'm kind of worried about is reliability, because it all depends and comes down to how the last owners took care of it. And it could be a high mileage car but taken care of like crazy good, and it could have no issues at all, or it could be a ton of owners and low mileage, but none of them really took care of it and took it in for maintenance, or they did their own maintenance on it and stuff, which isn't necessarily bad. It's just not very good when you're looking to buy a used car, especially one that has a decent amount of miles or is an older BMW, I guess, because I've had some problems with my 5 Series actually. Problems with the clutch and the slave cylinder, which was partly my fault, but at the same time I have a certain driving style, so I mean it doesn't work very well with me, even though I love the car. So that's why I'm worried about the Porsche. I'm trying to sell it because it was a pretty big investment for my dad, and he pays for a lot of my stuff, so I feel pretty bad for making him pay for all that. So I would rather him sell the Porsche and the BMW and take all the profit, me give him around like $2,000 cash, and then him help me sort out this 2004, 2005-ish M3 situation I want to get going here. But yeah, I really love the M3s. They have around 333 horsepower, that's what BMW says, but obviously with more miles equals less horsepower, and etc. And it has around 260 pounds-foot of torque, which is, it's not like crazy amount. You're not going to be beating Camaros and Mustangs or anything, but they're definitely more momentum cars. Like with the manual, they rev up at least in the States, I believe, to 8,500 RPM, which is a very high RPM car, but they want you to keep in the rev range in the lower gears, so you can kill the majority of domestic cars here in America and even your other European cars in the canyons and in the hills, because you just have to keep the momentum with the gearing and the RPMs. But yeah, and I'm more of a canyon guy too, so it just kind of works for me. And I really like BMWs. I've gone Japanese a little bit with cars. I had two Mazda Miatas, even though they were not the best of cars. They were sort of just like in between cars that I got for cheap until my Porsche was ready. That's how my 5 Series was too. But I ended up, breaking the 5 Series. I blew my first Miata up. And then my second Miata I kind of blew up, and then I got rid of both those and I got the BMW, and then obviously that broke. So, but it wasn't anything big. It was just a line to the slave cylinder that got a hole in it, and it was spreading fluid all over the transmission. So now it's like caked in brake fluid, which goes to the slave cylinder, which obviously isn't good. But I'm taking it in tomorrow, so it should get fixed. I tried fixing it myself, realized that I'm probably gonna do more damage than fix it, which I'm okay with admitting that. But yeah, so I mean, reliability is kind of an issue. But and I'm kind of rolling the dice here, especially because it's not just my money that I'm putting at stake. But I'm just gonna look at the Carfax reports and the maintenance, and ask the owner, obviously, see if he has any paperwork or anything that's been done major, and go from there. There was an issue. There's a recall for them for something in the motor, and it could actually grenade the motor if it wasn't recalled. Same thing happened with the E46, which is my dad's car that I always do videos on, as you guys know, the black E90 M3 competition. And it was like a mandatory recall for 2004 and back. It actually started at 2003, the 2003.5 model, and everything from then back had to be recalled. So I'm trying to get 2004 to 2006. That's why I'm saying that. Not because I don't care what year it is. I just want to make sure that it got recalled and that it got fixed, because I don't want to buy a car and then someone tell me, oh yeah, I got recalled, this and that, and then my motor to be toast and me to be stuck with a car that doesn't run, I can't sell, and I poured all my money into, which obviously isn't financially responsible. But majority of car guys aren't financially responsible. They just do what they love, like me. Especially with money that isn't mine. That's my specialty too. A lot of my dad's money, I don't like. I love that he buys everything, but I feel really bad that he does. And I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm not going to be one of the kids who's like, oh my gosh, like, I buy everything. Like, don't say my dad, like, get all, like, butthurt. Like, don't say my dad bought my stuff. Like, I bought this, is my money. When they know it's not theirs. And I know a lot of kids that are like that, which is just pony up. Just, like, take responsibility and say, hey, I'm fortunate enough for my dad to want to buy me these things and want to help me out financially, even though I'm not making that much money and everything, and he knows that, and he loves me, so he's helping me out. So he wants to help me out with this, and I'll give him $2,000 cash, and eventually, well, I want to pay him back. He'll beg to differ. He'll be like, no, but But yeah, this was just a little video, just an update of what I think my next car is going to be, and hopefully it's soon. I need to put my Porsche back together. I took the interior out to put all new audio in because the Blaupunk stereo was toast. I still have it all, so if you're a buyer looking at this video, I have all the parts for that, so you can fix it if you want an OEM experience. But yeah, my dad actually bought a lot of expensive audio for that car, so I'm gonna put that back together, make it pristine, sell it, give my dad all the money. He'll make a big profit on it. He'll make a profit off the BMW too, because we got it for super cheap. And then I'll just use about, if I give him $2,000 cash, he will spend about $10,000, or actually probably around $11,000 or $12,000 on this car, and then I'll give him $2,000 cash, and then I'll somewhat feel like I did something good, which in the long run, not so much money. But he is my dad, so it's not like I'm getting a loan from a friend or something. I wouldn't feel right about that. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I really like this car. I'm gonna do tasteful mods if I do get it. I'm not gonna be all like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna put a big carbon fiber wing and this and that, and a chassis mount, and like crazy wheels and everything. Like I'm gonna keep it tasteful. I'm not gonna go overboard. I want to get competition wheels, either E90 competition wheels with the Mystic Blue, but I think I want the black competition wheels. I feel like it really accents the fenders and the hips on it. But those are really expensive. My dad has a set lying around, but I don't want to use the rest of his stuff. He should just sell it, make his own money, and just leave me be, I guess. And I just got hired at Chick-fil-A, so I'm gonna start making money now, and I'm really excited for that. So my camera just died, but you know, I'm back. But yeah, as I was saying, starting to work at Chick-fil-A. I'm gonna not have to spend any more of my dad's money, you know, as much as I hope so. I mean, things break, so I'm not gonna bet on paying for everything, minimum wage, you know, and I have high school to worry about, so I'm not gonna be getting a ton of hours, but job's a job. Good for morals, everything. But yeah, no, I'm just really excited. I'm really excited for this car. I really want to do a lot to it. It's pretty quick. It's not crazy fast, like I said, but yeah, I'm really happy. I am really happy, and I really can't wait to see how this turns out. My dad was into Porsches, and I was into M3s before he got his M3, and then I actually got him into M3s. He got me into Porsches, and then we switched places, and then he got an M3 and loved it, and then I started getting into Porsches, and then he got the M3, and then he got the Porsche. He was like, okay, this is yours, this is mine, and we both started loving what we had. And then I started driving his car more, and then my car was more in the shop a ton. So, and then I just totally converted back, and now I'm like fully into M3s. And because the Porsches I want are way too expensive, so the M3 I want isn't crazy. It's expensive, don't get me wrong. Way out of my league, totally. I'm grateful, totally happy to even have the consideration of my father to help me get this car home. But yeah, no, I'm really excited. I really love this car. But yeah, so I mean, this was just an update video. Nothing crazy, nothing clickbaity. I hope you liked it. It's just talking about my future and this channel's future and where it will go. But you know, but yeah, definitely gonna stick with some more BMW. Maybe change it up in the future. Maybe get a project car or something when I save a little bit of money for my job. But yeah, that's about it. So if it's evening, if it's nighttime, if it's the morning or in the middle of the day, I hope you have a great one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.